Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Podcast below in the description. Go check it out.
Also down there, geologie.com/ham. Get 40% off Geologie. Geologie. Get your skincare game.
.com/ham. 40% off. Yeah, supple faces,
Yeah, it's the pot of the supple face. Rap Sheet says this: the Raiders are waiving Arden Key and Mo Hurst, according to a source. These guys were in, they extended Colton Miller this year. They were all in that same draft. Arden Key went in the 3rd round. Mo Hurst fell to the 5th round. Seems like people are surprised by this. I did not expect that today. What did you make of it?
It's always weird, I would say, when you cut younger players that are on rookie contracts that were drafted 3rd and 5th round. They don't make any money right now. Like, why not just get to training camp and see it? Like, are they really taking a spot? I get, when guaranteed dollars are due, it's a reason a lot of guys get cut at the league year, right? You have to make a decision on the money. There's no decision being made beside this guy's not any good for what we're trying to do. The Mo Hurst thing, I get back to when you look at the Seattle scheme, ideally they like bigger guys inside. In their heyday in Seattle, when they were really good on defense, that's what they had. When you look at what the Niners have done with Saleh, they like, big guys with Armstead and Buckner a couple years ago. Like you do like size, even though Mo Hurst, in theory, kind of a one gap up the field guy. Maybe Gus Bradley just didn't like the two players. Like you can't convince me anything otherwise unless something happened that we don't know about, because the timing is a little weird. Like you don't see 7 guys were cut today on different teams. Like it's just, especially guys that play, it's just as simple as they just don't fit. You want to give them a chance to land on another team. You were going to cut them. They had no future. The one thing I would say about Arden Key is he's a speed rusher only, and they signed Yannick Ngakoue. So it's like he's just useless, but you do need more than one pass rusher. He, to me, like Mo Hurst, remember he had something happen with a blood clot that they didn't quite know, and he fell in the draft.
I liked that pick when they made it. I think you and I both did.
Yeah. In the 5th round, to me, Arden Key had a lot of character stuff coming out of LSU. A lot of people had him red flagged. Was a talented pass rusher. It was one of those classics, of course, John Gruden picked him, but he hasn't been very good. And I don't think they're losing much getting rid of either guy. To me, the timing is just a little bizarre.
Yeah.
But just don't fit Gus Bradley. I mean, it does feel like Gus Bradley does not want these players, right?
Right. Which, again, a 5th rounder, the timing is odd. You end up cutting a 5th rounder in the grand scheme of things. I can't look at Arden Key, who was their 2nd, 3rd round pick, and Mo Hurst, who was their 5th round pick, and go, this is boy, they blew it. Well, I can't believe they had to cut bait with these guys. Like, whatever. The story with the Raiders is not about their 3rd round picks and their 5th round picks. The story for the Raiders is about their 1st round picks. It's about Colt Miller, good pick. It's about Clelin Ferrell, bad pick. It's about Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Abram and Henry Ruggs and Damon Arnett. That's what it's about. So, yeah, this is surprising. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe it's as simple as they don't fit the scheme. They didn't want Arden Key around. I don't know. But I also don't really care. Like, it's not about those guys. Ideally, and you always say this, you cut a guy in the 5th round. Well, ideally, you can find a 4th rounder that can give you the same production. So, okay, he was 2nd in PFF career pressures among interior D linemen from the 2018 draft. That's not nothing. I mean, that was a really good pick. Ideally, your 5th rounder, if he's good enough, can stick around for several years, and it helps you keep your roster cheap. But whatever.
I think you nailed it. They've invested so much the last couple of years because they had all these extra picks, and Damon Arnett has to be good. Jonathan Abram was shitty last year. You have to be better or figure out a way to use him better. Josh Jacobs, excellent pick, right? Clelin Ferrell, he just has to be better. You need more, and it might be as simple as in Solomon Thomas, as we've seen with the Niners, who's actually, ironically, now a Raider. And maybe Solomon Thomas, they just view – he's coming off a pretty terrible knee injury. Remember, part of Solomon's injury was it was like everything ripped in his knee. So to just think that he would be fine as a backup, who even knows if he's going to be healthy enough to play? I just wonder, Damon Arnett just was injured a lot. They're going to need him to stay healthy. To me, can Jonathan Abram become an impact player? And I would lean no. Clelin Ferrell, can he become an impact player? Jonathan Abram does have like specific standout skills. I just don't know if you can really like in this modern day game, it's harder to use. Like Jonathan Abram 20 years ago, every team would want him. Right now, not ideal. To me, Cleveland Farrell, it's just like he's just not good enough to be a high pick. Right? Jonathan Abram does something that stands out.
For sure he does, but it's also that specific thing has been taken advantage of by the opponent. And
it's not really allowed in the NFL.
Yeah,
right?
And it's like it's one thing if you've got, he's been injured at times. Is it because of the way he plays, or are the injuries just freak injuries?
Well, yeah. I mean, he missed an entire season for laying a guy out in game one his rookie year.
Now they've hit Max Crosby, great 4th-round pick. Bryan Edwards, I actually really liked him when we saw him. We didn't get to see him a lot. This will be a big year for him. He was a 3rd-round pick. But it's those guys are like, I'm not saying those picks don't matter. Of course they do. But the picks that are defining the John Gruden era right now are the 5 first-rounders and really the 4 first-rounders the 5 first-rounders in the last 2 years.
Well, they need some of these guys. Like Josh Jacobs established himself. He's a really good player. Is there out of that group that you listed, is anyone going to go like, yeah, every team in the league would want that guy as a starter impact guy? Because right now you'd say no on any of them. Now, Damon Arnett, short little sample size, but he was injured. Ruggs, it didn't go well. Like, they're going to need these guys to be like, okay, Damon Arnett's a legit
People
starter.
might take Ruggs, though.
100%. They would just blame the Raiders.
Yeah, which I do after that first year. But But
it's on Derek, it's on John, it's on Ruggs, on them all. But you just draft a guy 12 overall, even more than the Farrell. He was drafted above all these other wide receivers. So it's like, this guy's got to start being an impact guy.
If this is what Gus Bradley wants, fine. You know why? Gus Bradley should be getting what he wants on defense.
I agree.
It should be up to Gus Bradley. So